Our guest musician today is Ric Palieri, a talented singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, storyteller, and member of the mythical Order of the Rose Tattoo, who lives the musical life to the fullest. His stories and songs have taken him on road trips through every state in the U.S., continental U.S., as well as travels to Australia, Germany, Poland, Scotland, France, and Spain. After the fellowship time today at noon, a song circle will be held with Ric, and all are welcome to attend here in the sanctuary. And now we welcome Ric to share his first selection with us, Plant a Tree.
I wrote this song on my mother-in-law's 80th birthday. She wanted to do something special that day. So she took her two daughters, my wife Mariana and her sister Heidi, and they all went off to the tree nursery. They came home and they brought home a linden tree. We dug a hole and we planted that tree. And then we had a little party with all of her friends beside her. She said, you know, once you reach 80, you never know what's going to happen. So while my friends and family are beside me, I want to declare my wishes. When I pass away, I want you to cremate this old body and take those ashes and scatter them right here on this linden tree that we just planted. And every time you look outside and you see that tree growing, you'll think of me. And in a way, I'll be able to keep growing with you. When it's time to leave this earth, give my ashes to the dirt. Dig a hole on a mountainside and plant a tree with me inside. Plant a tree, 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 and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Shower me with sun and rain till my roots start to grow again. You won't miss me when I'm gone, no, I'll be with you all year long. I'll be there in the winter, I'll be there in the spring, from the first snowfall till the robins sing, through the hazy days of summer until the last leaf falls. I'll keep on growing true and tall. Plant a tree, 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 and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. When your children sing and play, let them through my branches sway. Jump and roll in autumn's leaves, carve their names for all to see. Plant a tree, 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 and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Years will come and the years will go till I'm so old I cannot grow. Then chop me up for wood to burn, but save a seed so I may return. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Well, that's where the song ended. But one day, on September 11th, I was sitting there in front of the TV like most of you, and I watched the two planes hit those two towers and watched those towers crumble. I found out that one of my dear friends' sons was in one of those buildings, and I decided that I would write a special verse for him and all those people. As we walk through nature's chain, there's many things we can't explain. So if I die before my time, remember me for all humankind. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Plant a tree, 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 and think of me. I'll be standing by your side, and we'll keep reaching for the sky.
Thank you. Good morning, friends, and welcome. My name is Caitlin Regan, and my pronouns are she and her. Today's service, in honors of All Souls Day on November 2nd, holds up those whose lives have touched ours before inevitably moving out of this world and into another we are yet to know. Collectively, we have gathered remembrances of our loved ones, be they photographs, mementos, or the pieces of our loved ones that we hold forever in our hearts. Put together, they form a tangible village filled with love and warmth in which we are all welcome. As we search for truth and meaning in the realities we face, we have each other and the love of the surrounding spirit to guide us. Today, I hope you feel your loved ones lifted with reverence and gratitude for all they have brought us, both in life and in death. I hope we lift ourselves and each other in the light of our honored and treasured memories. Welcome to this special place today and always. If you're new to this space, we extend a special welcome. We are so glad you're here. We hope you'll take some time to learn more about us by visiting our welcome table, the front of the sanctuary, or mingling with our members at the back of the sanctuary after our service. We will be serving light refreshments, and you can learn more about Unitarian Universalism, our church, and our welcoming congregation. If you've been coming for a while and are interested in becoming a member, we offer new member classes regularly. You can speak to anyone with a new Ask Me sticker on their name tag for detailed information. We also welcome you to look inside your order of service and on our website, bbuuc.org, for announcements and coming events at our church. We offer many opportunities for enrichment and hope you will take part in the offerings beyond our Sunday services. Above all, we thank you for joining us today. Our faith is based on principles of love, respect, justice, and the spirituality that ties us together. When we worship together, we affirm those principles and bring them closer to our core so that we may carry them forward into the world around us. However you come to this space this morning, you are valued and welcome. Please take this next hour to fill yourselves with the community of love and worship that fills the space in and beyond these walls and still beyond this world. I am grateful for you and all you bring to this sanctuary. Welcome. Since Unitarian Universalists don't have a creed or dogma, what holds us together as a community is covenant, the promise we make to one another about who we will be as a faith community and how we will be in relationship with one another as we practice the values expressed in our principles and hold reverence for our wisdom sources. The covenant that we created together in our congregation is printed in your order of service, and I invite you to find them and join me in speaking the words in unison. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, and practice gracious accountability with care, love, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. And I'd like to invite Steve McCullough to come forward to light our chalice as I share the words of Reverend Florence Kaplow. As we kindle this flame, we honor and remember those who have passed into the mystery. Their brightness lives on in our vision, their courage lives on in our commitments, and their love continues to bless the world through us. Thank you. All right, and if you would please rise in body or spirit as we sing our call to worship. The words are printed in your order of service.
Morning, friends of the forest. How are we? My name is Jen Jones. I'm the director of Lifespan Religious Education here at the BBUC, and today I have a special story about a special day. And yes, I did plant a tree. So the Troll Tear. It's a children's story about Samhain by DJ Conway. The night was very dark, with the full moon hanging in the cloud-filled sky above. The air was crisp with the feeling of late autumn, and the doorway between the worlds was wide open. Carved pumpkins sat on the porch of the houses in the little town, and the laughter of the children dressed up in costume could be heard from the streets. It was a sad time for Beth, though. She climbed a hill behind her house, in her arms, her cat. Little Smokey carefully wrapped in her favorite blanket. A little grave was already dug on the hill, waiting for Smokey, who had died that day. "Do you want me to go with you?" Beth's father asked. "No, I want to go by myself." I dug his grave beside McDoodle's at the top of the hill. Beth clearly remembered that when their dog had gotten hit by a car. Beth stopped at the top of the hill and knelt beside the little grave. She carefully laid Smokey's blanket wrapped in the earth and covered it with dirt, laying several large rocks on top of it. Then she cried, and she cried. "Oh, Smokey, I miss you so much." Beth looked up at the moon, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Why did you die?" "It was this time to rejoin the mother," said a deep, gentle voice in the dark. "Who said that?" "Dying is part of the life cycle, you know." One of the boulders on the hill stirred to life. "Who are you?" The moonlight shone down on this little woman, and Beth could see she was not human. "I am the troll wife," said the creature, as she came to sit across from Beth. "This is the sad night for both of us, girl. I came here too, came to this hill to bury a friend." The troll wife wiped her tears from her cheek. The squirrel was very old. Still, it made me sad. Beth stared at the troll wife. The little woman was the color of rock, and the moonlight in her hair like long strands of moss, her bright eyes shining like crystals. She wore a dress woven in oak leaf and tree bark. "The squirrel and I lived together for a long time," the troll wife said. "We talked to your cat when he was hunting here on the hill. Smokey and I, we were friends. When you are arrested, we shall talk again," as she looked down at Smokey's grave. Beth looked at her super confused and said, "But he's dead." "Child, this is Samhain. Don't you know the ancient secrets of this sacred time of year?" The troll wife motioned for Beth to come sit beside her. "It is true that our friends have gone long into the world where we can no longer physically touch them. But Mother has given us other ways of communicating with them. We can do this at any time, but Samhain is the easiest." "I don't understand how this can be," Beth said, "or why Samhain makes it easier." "At this time of the year," the troll wife answered, "the walls between the worlds of souls and spirits are very thin. If we're quiet and we listen, we can hear our loved ones and they can hear us. We talk not with spoken words, but with our heart and with our mind. Isn't it just imagination?" Beth looked down at Smokey's graves, tears once more coming to her eyes. "Like my thinking, I can feel McDoodle getting up on my bed at night like he used to. Sometimes it is imagination, but sometimes it's not. Only our friends come to see us in their spirit bodies." The troll wife looked at her hands and patted something on her shoulder. Beth couldn't see anything there. And the troll wife said, "Just like my raven who's here now." Beth looked hard and saw a thin form of a hazy moonlight on the troll wife's shoulders. "I've seen something like that before on the foot of my bed, where McDoodle used to sleep. I thought I was dreaming." She jumped as something nudged her arm. When she looked down, there was nothing there. The troll wife smiled. "Close your eyes and think of McDoodle," she said. "He's been waiting a long time for you to see him." Beth closed her eyes, and at once the little form of her dog came into her mind. His tail wagged with happiness. She felt a wave of love come from him, and she sent him love back. Then she felt the dog lie down on her leg. "Can I do this with Smokey?" Beth asked. "Not yet. He needs to sleep a while and rest, and then he will come to you. This gives Smokey time to adjust to his new world and lets you have time to grieve for him. It's not wrong to grieve, but we must not grieve forever." "I never thought of it that way," Beth said. It's kind of like moving away and we can only talk to them on the phone." "It's that way with creatures, not just animals." The troll wife stood up and held out her hand to Beth. "Will you join me, human girl? Although I buried my friend Squirrel this night, I must still dance and sing to my friends and ancestors who have gone on the journey into the world, for this is the time to honor the ancestors." Beth joined the troll wife in the ancient slow dance around the top of the hill in the moonlight. She watched quietly while the troll wife called troll words out to the 4 different directions Beth couldn't understand. Deep in her heart, the girl felt the power of the strange words and knew that they were given in honor and love by the little troll wife. When she finished her ritual, Beth ran up to her and hugged her. The troll wife looked down and said, "Go in peace, human child," she said, "and remember what I've told you about the ancient secrets of Samhain." "I will," Beth answered. "Will I ever see you again?" "Whenever the moon is full, I will be here," the little troll wife said, "and especially at Samhain." "I wish I had something to give you." Beth hugged the little woman. "You've taught me so much." She felt the tears come up in her eyes again. "Let us exchange tears for our lost friends." The troll wife reached up and caught a tear from Beth's eye. The glistening tear on her finger, the troll wife gently touched her finger to her cloak, and Beth's tear shone like a diamond in the moonlight. Beth reached up and carefully caught the troll wife's tear that slid down her cheek, and it turned into a real crystal in her hand. "Remember the secret of Samhain and remember me," the troll wife said softly as she disappeared into the darkness. Beth walked back up to the hill, the crystal clutched in her hand. Her father was waiting on the porch. "Are you all right?" her father asked and gave her a big hug. "I will be," she said. She opened her hand under the porch light and saw the perfect tear-shaped crystal lying there. "Did you find something?" her father asked. "A troll tear," Beth said, and her father smiled, for he also knew the little troll wife and the secret of Samhain. And with that, our story is told. I would like to invite Joaquin to come up and help me lead the children back to religious education classes. As we pass this flame from one generation to the next, the congregation may remain seated and join me in singing a hymn in 413, "Go Now in Peace." Okay, you got it.
The offertory reading today is titled Individually and Together by Heather Christensen. Unitarian Universalism is a grand vision of a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. That vision is embodied in a few large congregations, numerous mid-sized congregations, and many, many small congregations. No matter its size, every congregation depends on its members. Each one of you, by your commitment of time, energy, and resources, helps make that grand vision real. Individually and together, we are Unitarian Universalists, building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. Today is the final day of our October plate contribution that will benefit the UUA Disaster Relief Fund to aid the recovery of the greater Fort Myers area in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian's extensive destruction. All cash donations in the plate and checks that specify UUA in the memo line will be sent to the fund. Any pledge donations in the plate will still be applied to your pledge. There is a link on the bulletin board that will allow additional donations to the Trauma Response Ministry. Will our offertory ushers, Ted Clisby and Donna Zimmerman, please come forward? The offering will be followed by hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. If you'll grab your order of service. The responsive reading today, this sacred thread, is printed in the order of service, and I invite you this morning to join me in a responsive reading written by the UU Minister, Reverend Heather K. Janules. The words are in italics for you to say. They once dwelled among us, the people of memory. They who knew us, they who taught us, they who heard us, they who loved us. They touch our lives time and time again, through their presence and their absence. Through familiar scents and favorite songs, through old stories and renewed sorrow. As the earth turns and leaves fall, we reach back to renew the bonds between us. With hearts and hands open, we hold on to love, ever stronger than death. We reach back in gratitude and understanding. Without our time together, the pain and the joy, we would never be who we are today. We would have little to pass on ourselves. Without fear, with thanksgiving, and with hope for all that awaits, we remember those who have gone before. We honor the circle of life and death, and our place within this sacred thread. Please rise once again for singing number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. We are going to sing 3 verses today, 1, 3, and 4.
The long summer has faded now, and soon the first days of November will mark the beginning of the coming of winter. The frost will take our tender plants, leaves have begun to fall from the trees, geese begin to arrive from the north. The days are cooler, the weather unsettled, and the evenings are suddenly dark. Our children will play with death and fear tomorrow at Halloween. Christians will mark All Saints and All Souls Days, both holidays commemorating the dead. And our Hispanic neighbors will celebrate the Day of the Dead on Tuesday evening. If we were members of traditional Mexican families, we would go that evening to have a picnic on the graves of our family members, celebrating, remembering, and honoring. Most of us are far from the grave sites of our ancestors, but we can also honor those who have gone before us, and we will do that soon after the interlude by inviting any who wish to come forward and silently light a candle for their own beloved dead. First, I invite you to use the interlude as a time of centering and preparation for this ceremony. At this darkening time of the year, our thoughts turn to things past, to life retreating, to those who are no longer with us. Images come to our minds of dear companions who once graced our lives, loved ones whom we miss, persons whose lives made an impact on our own lives, all of those who were here, contributing, caring, and are now gone. Our memories bring both joy and sadness. Let us not push these feelings away, for our recollections attest to the enduring importance of these friends, this love, our memories. May these brave and lovely spirits live again in our tender thoughts and prove that death and distance are powerless to sever the bonds that connect truly loving hearts.
I have some words that were originally written by a UU minister named Reverend Elea Kemler, and she begins with these words from UU minister Reverend Molly Hoche Gordon. Mysterious source of love, moving within and between and among us, upholding and connecting all, the living, the dead, and the generations yet to come. We give thanks for the web of all creation, strands interwoven, and for the gifts of love, which can never be ungiven or unraveled. Reverend Kemler writes, in the 18 years since I have served as minister of my small town congregation, I have led 96 memorial services, most for people I have loved. I didn't realize how much these deaths would hurt. The longer I stay, the deeper I love and the more I grieve. This seems so obvious, but I was surprised by it. Another surprise has been how our beloved dead seem to make themselves known, how they seem to linger with us for a little while. Once, after a memorial service, everyone left the church and gathered on the sidewalk in the sunlight of a still summer afternoon. As we stood there, a huge gust of wind blew down the street. We could see it coming, almost like a tumbleweed. For maybe 5 seconds, the wind was all around us and all over us. We turned and watched the gust blow down the street, and then it was completely still again. Someone said, "There she goes." Another time I was about to lead the memorial service for a man who shared a love of butterflies with his wife. Their home was filled with images of butterflies, and we had put a photo of one on the program. As I stood at the church door, a huge orange and black butterfly flew near. It circled me 3 times, above my head, around my shoulders, at my knees, and then flew away. When I told his wife about it, she nodded. "Butterflies have been all around me since he died," she said. Last spring, a beloved elder who believed he would reincarnated as a red-tailed hawk. He had passed. I told the congregation about his death at Sunday morning services. I had taped a picture of a red-tailed hawk on the front pew where he always sat. Several people told me that as I was making the announcement, they were looking out the sanctuary windows and saw a large hawk soaring above the church. Over the years, I've heard many stories. Stories about dragonflies and rainbows and love songs coming on the radio at just the right moment. Maybe it is just coincidence. Maybe we're looking for signs, so we find them. But maybe those we love are nearer to us than we realize. Maybe love is vaster than the limits of our understanding. I believe that it is. Source of love, we are sustained and upheld by the love of those who have gone before us. May we know deep in our bones that love does not disappear. Amen.
I now invite you to rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn, number 146 in your gray hymnals, Soon the Day Will Arrive, both verses. At the close of the service, you are welcome to come by to the memorial tables and view the items that were placed there by the congregation. I would like to invite Steve McCullough back to the chancel to extinguish our chalice and joy and concerns flames as I share the words of Reverend Leah Derlin Jones for our benediction. For those who came before us, we offer gratitude and thanks. May their memories be a blessing. May we feel surrounded by their love. As we go forth from this time and place, let us be inspired by their courage, their wisdom, and their dreams. Let us honor them by doing the work of living boldly, living mightily, and creating heaven on earth. Amen, and blessed be.